You're asking for a number. If I have a number, it would have to be my best estimate. And that would be that the number of infections per day are well below 10,000 per day. At that point and up to that point, there would be a gradual pulling back of some of the restrictions you're talking about, particularly when people are vaccinated more and more, because it's a combination of if you're vaccinated, you're protecting yourself for sure, and the more people that get vaccinated in the community, the lower the level of infection will be.
I understand. Well, give us an idea. I mean, look, you've given us thoughts on all kinds of subjects. You've opined on all kinds of issues. Give us your best guess then.
I just did.
No, you didn't. You didn't give us a time. When do you think this is going? Are we going to be here 2 years from now wearing masks?
No, I don't.
Asking Dr. Fauci the same question.
Well, let me answer your ranting again. Let me
I'm not ranting.
Yes, you are.
No, here's how it works, Dr. Fauci.
Right.
I get to ask you the questions. You're the highest paid official in the United States government. You've given us your advice on baseball, on dating apps, on cruise ships. You told us 0 masks, 1 mask, 2 masks, now back to 1 mask. I'm just asking you, when is it going to end? You can say I'm ranting. I'm actually asking the question that the citizens I get the privilege of representing, and my name actually goes on a ballot. I don't think your name's ever been on a ballot. My name goes on a ballot. The citizens I represent want to know the answer to when they can get their liberties back. You can call that ranting. I actually call it standing up for the Constitution, which I take an oath to uphold, Dr. Fauci, every year, every term that I serve in this Congress representing the folks in the 4th District of Ohio. So it is not ranting. It is defending the First Amendment.
Jerry.
You gave us a guess on Texas. Look at the chart here. This is 7-day average of case rate per 100,000 people. You gave us your guess on Texas. You said when Texas ended their lockdown, ended their mandate, that this was, quote, inexplicable and would lead to a surge in cases. Texas is near the bottom of the 50 states, but all the states at the top are lockdown states. So how great was that? That guess didn't seem to be too good. What explains why Texas is so darn low compared to the rest of the states? Lockdown states have a much higher case rate than the state of Texas, which is over a month ago now, said we're not going to lock down, we're not going to have all these mandates that you say we have to have.
Yeah, there's a difference between lockdown and the people obeying the lockdown. You could have a situation where they say we're going to lock down, and yet you have people doing exactly what they want to do.
Is that what is happening in the top 8 states in the country? They're just not following what's been told. They're not listening to Dr. Fauci.
I'm sorry, you're speaking so fast, I'm not even hearing what you're saying.
Well, you can look at the numbers.
I can't see that, it's too far away.
Okay, well, Michigan's at 551 cases per 100,000. Texas is at 77. Wisconsin's at 109 because their state Supreme Court overruled their governor, their Republican court, and said, we're not going to have a lockdown in Wisconsin. And their numbers are 5 times lower than the state of Michigan, which is right next door.
I don't think I need to say much more on this video. I'll leave the link below. You can watch the entirety yourself. It is worth it. Guys, I feel sad for Dr. Fauci. Every time he meets with congressmen, he never really brings true evidence or data supporting anything he is saying. He is very consistent with the contradictions. I'll leave it at that. I love the fireball and the passion, the authenticity Mr. Jordan brings. He busts out real data comparing how different states, those who are following CDC guidelines and those who are not, how they are actually doing. The numbers, variance, the states who decided to rebuild, doing their own thing, are way better than those states who are put into a box to follow the CDC guidelines. Man, I really appreciate congressmen like Mr. Jordan and Randy for standing alongside of their people, not being afraid to tell the truth, tell it like it is. Even though they are being hated and judged, persecuted, they are real men who aren't cowered from speaking absolute truths. God bless them. I want to leave with a couple of messages and Bible verses. Even if we win this fight here on earth, even if after a couple of months later things are back to semi-normal, like tomorrow is not promised. this world we live in is very temporarily, it's unpredictable. The system can break at any time. What we should worry about, most importantly, is that God's coming back and he's going to judge the world. For right now, we have a duty, we have a purpose, which is to follow Jesus, to make him your Lord. You know, people talk about how hell is going to be fun and all of that stuff. There's no real truth in that. Revelation says that the lake of fire, there will be gashings of teeth. It's not going to be fun, okay? There is nothing better than having salvation secured through Jesus Christ. James 4, verses 13 through 15 says, "Come now, you who say today or tomorrow, we will go into such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and make a profit, yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that." You see, it's not your will, it's God's will be done in your life. God is sovereign. He gives us free will, but there will be a time when that's going to be cut loose, and he is coming back for his people. You want to be his people now, like now. John 11, verses 25 through 26, Jesus said to her, "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live. And everyone who lives and believes in Jesus Christ shall never die." Do you believe this? Put your trust in Jesus today. Do not let another minute go by without you getting right before God. As always, do not fear men and strive for Christ.